The world of professional wrestling thrives on drama, both in front of the cameras and behind them. But every so often, an unscripted moment unfolds that becomes bigger than any storyline WWE could plan. Such was the case during a tense encounter backstage when Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate himself, crossed paths with Bronson Reed, one of WWE's hungriest rising stars. What started as frustration and chatter about opportunities quickly escalated into a reality check from a veteran who has seen and done it all, reminding everyone that in this business, respect isn't optional. It's the foundation on which careers are built. Witnesses describe the moment as a clash not of fists, but of presence, words, and reality. The kind of confrontation that leaves lasting ripples in the locker room and forces everyone watching to reflect on the delicate balance between ambition and reverence in WWE. The rise of Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed has built his name as a powerhouse, someone who thrives on brute force and a never-say-die mentality that makes fans sit up and take notice. Week after week, he has been presented as a monster capable of flattening anyone who dares step into his path, and his rise on Raw and SmackDown has been fueled by that aura of destruction. For Reed, every match is an opportunity to prove that he belongs in the upper echelon of WWE, and his confidence has grown as his victories have stacked up. Yet in that rise, whispers began to circulate of his frustrations. The sense that part-timers and veterans often occupied the spotlight that younger, hungrier wrestlers were fighting for. These weren't unusual feelings. Many stars before him have voiced similar sentiments in their climb. But the way those thoughts surfaced, and the particular figure they seemed to be aimed at, turned out to set the stage for one of the most unforgettable moments in recent WWE memory, the legacy of Brock Lesnar. To understand why this encounter mattered so much, you first have to understand who Brock Lesnar is in the wrestling world. Lesnar isn't just another decorated performer. He is a generational athlete who has conquered both sports entertainment and legitimate combat sports. From ending The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak to holding the UFC Heavyweight Championship, Lesnar's resume reads like a highlight reel of impossible accomplishments. He has headlined countless pay-per-views, sold millions in merchandise and tickets, and been the centerpiece of WWE's global branding. But perhaps most importantly, he carries an aura that transcends wins and losses, an authenticity that makes even his presence feel like a main event. That is why, when someone even hints at questioning his commitment or impact, it doesn't just spark debate, it shakes the very foundation of respect in the locker room. Words that echoed in the wrong direction. According to multiple accounts, Bronson Reed had been vocal in recent weeks about his desire for bigger opportunities and his frustrations with how certain veterans seem to operate. These comments were said to have touched on the debate that always lingers in WWE, the balance between part-time megastars and the full-time roster grinding every week. Reed's words weren't necessarily unique. Younger talent often feels overlooked when legends return for marquee matches. But what made this different is that Reed's comments, whether intentional or not, came across as pointed toward Brock Lesnar, a man whose presence alone changes the economics of WWE. The remarks may have been born from hunger and ambition, but in a business built on hierarchy and respect, they resonated far louder than Reed perhaps anticipated. The ripple effect in the locker room. Word of the encounter spread quickly through WWE's backstage corridors, and like all powerful moments, it carried lessons far beyond the two men directly involved. Younger talent took note of how swiftly ambition can clash with tradition, and veterans were reminded of the responsibility they carry as role models. For Reed, the shift was noticeable even on the same night. Observers suggested that his usual confidence seemed muted, his energy more restrained, as though the encounter had left him reflecting on his approach. For Lesnar, it reinforced his role not only as a marquee performer, but also as a figure whose influence extends off-camera, setting the tone for what respect means in WWE. A broader debate within WWE. This confrontation didn't happen in a vacuum. It tapped into a larger ongoing debate about the balance between part-timers and full-time roster members. It is a complex discussion, one with valid perspectives on both sides. Full-time stars sacrifice week in and week out, while part-time legends often command the spotlight when they return. The truth is that both play crucial roles in WWE's ecosystem. Veterans bring in massive audiences and global recognition, while younger talent provides the lifeblood of the company's future. What Lesnar demonstrated in this moment was that the conversation must always be anchored in respect, because respect ensures that both sides contribute to the business without tearing each other down. Lessons for Bronson Reed. For Bronson Reed, this moment could become a defining chapter in his career, not because it diminishes his momentum, but because it offers an opportunity for growth. Every superstar faces moments where ego and ambition collide with reality, and the best learn from those experiences. Reed has shown tremendous promise, and if he can take this lesson to heart, he can channel it into becoming a stronger performer and a more respected presence in the locker room. In fact, some of the biggest stars in WWE history, men like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and John Cena, faced their own early humbling moments and used them as fuel for greatness. Reed now stands at a similar crossroads. The continued relevance of Brock Lesnar. For Brock Lesnar, this moment only reinforced his enduring relevance to WWE. Even as debates about part-timers swirl, he proved that his presence carries weight far beyond his in-ring appearances. He didn't need a storyline or a microphone to command the room. His history, achievements, and aura spoke for themselves. Lesnar reminded everyone why he remains one of the most respected and influential figures in wrestling, not because of politics or favoritism, but because he has earned it at every stage of his career. In an era where authenticity matters more than ever, Lesnar once again demonstrated that he embodies the very qualities that define a true superstar. What this means, moving forward. The aftermath of this confrontation leaves WWE with both challenges and opportunities. Management could choose to let the moment fade quietly, allowing Reed to reflect and grow without turning it into a storyline. Or they could weave elements of this reality into future programming, tapping into the genuine tension to create compelling television. Either way, the message has already been delivered. Respect is non-negotiable, and ambition must be paired with humility. For fans, it is a reminder that the drama of WWE isn't limited to what happens in the ring. It is shaped by the personalities, conflicts, and lessons that unfold backstage. Respect, hierarchy, and the path forward. At its core, this confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed was about more than just two wrestlers. It was about respect, hierarchy, and the unwritten rules that keep the wrestling world in balance. Reed may have stumbled into a reality check, but if he learns from it, his career could ultimately benefit. Lesnar, meanwhile, showed that leadership doesn't always come from holding a microphone. It comes from stepping in when necessary and reminding others of the values that sustain the industry. WWE is built on moments like these, moments that mix reality with performance, teaching lessons that ripple far beyond the individuals involved. Conclusion. A lesson etched in WWE history. The confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed will be remembered not for fists thrown or matches booked, but for the way it pulled back the curtain on the values that shape WWE's culture. It was a reminder that ambition must walk hand in hand with respect, that the veterans who paved the road deserve acknowledgement even as new stars rise, and that in this business, reputation is as important as performance. Reed has a chance to grow from this, and perhaps one day stand shoulder to shoulder with the very legends he once criticized. Lesnar, on the other hand, has once again shown why he is more than just a part-time attraction. He is a standard-bearer for respect and legitimacy. For the WWE Universe, the message is clear. Behind the glitz, glamour, and spectacle, respect remains the lifeblood of professional wrestling.